Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. It really means a lot to me. Recently, Disney has come out with a movie on DVD and Blu-ray that has really impacted me, and I wanted to talk about it with you. I am, of course, referring to Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2. Leading up to it, the trailers looked phenomenal, but I did not expect the big, impactful message that Disney delivered to us head-on like a freight train. So today we're going to take a deep dive into the internet world Disney has created for this sequel to Wreck-It Ralph, and I would love to invite you guys to join me on the adventure. Let's see if we can break the like button with this video, because I really haven't been doing well in that department. If you are new to my channel, hi there. It's great to have you joining us today. If you like what you see, please feel free to hit the subscribe button so you can rally alongside others in the community who are spreading a message to encourage people to embrace what they are truly passionate about without fear of society shutting them down because what they love isn't considered the cool or popular thing in the culture. So let's strap ourselves in and put on our church shoes, because there is a lot to discuss. My initial thoughts about this sequel are that it is absolutely outstanding. I think they built off of what they had from the original Wreck-It Ralph in a glorious way. I love the new relational aspect that is incorporated between Ralph and Vanellope, since it has been literally 6 years since the first one came out. In the first 10 minutes of the movie, we get a glimpse of how their friend dynamic has grown off screen in those 6 years. They're sitting in Grand Central Station playing I Spy. They jump over to Tappers, where they're having burping contests with root beer. Ralph suggests they sneak into Tron, and we see them racing around. We get a few more character references or recurring character appearances that we saw in the first movie. Sonic's hanging out in Grand Central Station when the Wi-Fi gets connected. There's a tiny little shot of Chun-Li talking to Zangief during the whole does he wax debate, and countless others throughout the crowd in those big video game character montages that are really neat as shoutouts, and I know I definitely appreciated a lot of them. But the references do not stop there, oh no, because we are going into the internet. So Ralph and Vanellope are blasted with a ton of things that we in the modern culture are so familiar with. Twitter, Instagram, eBay, Amazon, BuzzTube, which hits very close to home for me and no doubt a lot of other content creators out there. A few prominent creators actually make some small cameos. Miranda Sings is in a short little shot, as well as iHasCupquake. I think that's the creator's name. I had to be corrected on that myself because I thought it was Lauren Z-Side, but I was wrong. We get to meet the head algorithm of YouTube, Yes, which is kind of ironic because a lot of what we've been getting recently is no. And the comment room that Ralph goes into when he starts making his viral videos and getting enough money for Vanellope's Games' new racing wheel. Oh, as soon as I saw that title, I thought, don't do it! Don't do it, Ralph! Stay out of there! And nope, he went in there and he felt and experienced everything that content creators do when they go into their comment sections. So I see what you did there, Disney. Don't know if I like you for it, but I appreciate that it's in there, I think. There's one website in particular that definitely stood out to me because of my own personal interests. That is the Disney website when Vanellope decides, I want to be an ad blocker and help get money for my new wheel. So she takes a little advertisement, pops over to the Disney site, and then we are just blasted with so many Easter eggs, so many familiar characters that we've all seen throughout time. There's specific music going on depending on which characters she's around or interacting with, and I thought that was really good of Disney to do. Not so much as a, hey, look, we're Disney and we have all these other properties that we can use in our own movie about the internet, more so in a way of, we know we've got this, but the focus is somewhere else. So let's kind of make that a setting, but keep it in the background a tiny bit. And I enjoyed that part. I really like the scene where she's interacting with all the Disney princesses and they're spouting off like, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Do people think you need a big strong man to come save you? Yes, what is up with that? She is one of us. That scene, oh, I love it. And I'm glad that's not the only scene with all the princesses interacting with one another. There's one more near the end where it's basically like Disney Princess Avengers, and I am all for it. I'm darn certain a lot of other people are for it. And this also led more into Vanellope's personal storyline of her desires, that Sugar Rush feels stagnant. She's done everything that she can do in that game. She wants more, but not sure how to find it. The studio definitely knew what they were doing with the trailers for the sequel, because I didn't see their hard-hitting message coming at us at all. Vanellope's game Sugar Rush gets unplugged because the wheel breaks and they have to get a new one, hence why they go into the internet and then they come across it. They don't know how bidding works, so basically they just keep upping the price for this wheel on eBay. And then it turns out that they have to pay $27,001, which they don't have. So they get into a conversation with Scamly, I think Scamly was his name, for a way in order to get the money for the wheel, which leads them to Slaughter Race, the racing game for this movie, and that is where Vanellope's story and her self-discovery really comes into play. I can really only recall one little clip throughout all the trailers of Vanellope talking with Shank about how best friends don't always have to want the exact same things, while Ralph is actually listening in the background. This is the point in the movie where the focus takes a shift from saving Sugar Rush and getting everything back on track to how they're supposed to be, and more looking at Vanellope's love of racing and what she desires in Slaughter Race, having different outcomes each and every time someone goes into the game, but also how this affects Ralph and his own desires of wanting things to get back to normal, and even the thought of losing his very best friend. This is a very real and relatable scenario. We make friends and develop bonds over time that become so important to us that we can't imagine our life without the other person that we've spent so much time getting to know and invest in. Our ride or die, if you will, truly is put to the test when our motives and what drives us, pun intended, maybe, to resort to whatever it takes in order to keep them in our lives, even if that doesn't make them the happiest they can be. And ultimately, it hurts them. I really appreciate that Disney was able to find a way to keep this message grounded while still translating the situational animated internet world that they've portrayed before us. We see Ralph get ecstatic at finally getting all $27,001 to buy Vanellope's wheel off of eBay so that life can go back to normal. And we see Vanellope struggle with returning to her old life and doing the same thing in and out day after day, or going over to Slaughter Race where everything's new, exciting, unpredictable, but leaving her best friend. The real life parallel to this back and forth is when our friends move away, either to another town, another country, or even across the world. Even if they move to a new province, it's still difficult to keep in touch and feel like you still have that connection. Ralph even uses the cliche, if you love them, you'll let them go concept when his Wreck-It virus takes over the internet after he himself gets careless with a virus that he had intended to use for his benefit.
Not right to hold a friend back from her dreams. You don't own her. That's not how friendship works. You need to let her go. Hey. You need to let her go. No matter where she goes or where she lives, she's always gonna be our friend. And we just gotta trust her. Because that's what best friends do.
If this is something that you have struggled with in life, or you're struggling through right now, I want you to know that you are not alone. There are always these opportunities that come knocking at our doors that will put into question who are your ride or die friends, who is always going to be there for you even if they don't live right down the street. Whoever your Vanellope is, be there for them. Show them that you care and encourage them to express what gives them the most joy out of life. They're going to realize that your friendship means so much more than just the proximity in which you're currently living, and that'll strengthen your friendship tenfold. No, 100-fold. That's all I really have to say about Ralph Breaks the Internet Wreck-It Ralph 2. I didn't expect this video to be so heavy, but it's good to reflect on life's tough aspects every once in a while, because that's part of what it means to be human, and that's certainly not going away anytime soon. I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are on the movie, what some of your favorite parts were, what fun cameos you enjoyed, and what were your reactions to the overarching you can't own a friend theme? Leave all those thoughts down in the comments section. I will be reading them and responding to as many as I can, because this was just an amazing movie, and I think Disney really has a good discussion point here. If you want to check out what other content I have on my own channel, you can check out this playlist of Harry Potter content that I have loved making over the past little while, or this playlist right here is a general scope of all the nerdy things that I'm passionate about. Until next time, don't be afraid or discouraged by others to express what you are truly passionate about, because you have no idea who in the world you can make an amazing connection with.